All right, everyone, this is Brad with Custom Offsets. We got an unboxing to do here. These are going to be Rough Country's new Vertex series is what they're calling them. They're reservoir shocks and coilover systems. They sent us a set that we're actually going to be installing down the road here. But I wanted to get our first reactions on this brand new product. This is a big step for Rough Country because these are going to be a higher end option for their shocks on some of their kits, you know, F-150, 1500 Chevys, Jeeps as well. This particular kit I believe is for 14 and up GM 1500 trucks. This is going to be the 2.5 coilover, and then I believe this is, I'm assuming this is going to be a rear 2.5 reservoir shock. So we'll go ahead and unbox this baby and get a first glimpse and see what I think. And apparently I can't open it. This is probably gonna block everything. Is that gonna mess everything up, Cobb? So you can see here, the first thing you notice is they take a lot of time to package everything in here. And then yeah, this is gonna be obviously the front coilover. This is a remote reservoir external. Random things. Let's see, there's no, see, it's hard to kind of pull coilover out, and oh, you got all this stuff dangling off of it here. But we're gonna pull it out, kind of move the box out of the way. Probably throw the box on the ground. Well, I mean, first impression is, you know, it obviously looks nice. It's all machine built aluminum, top plates. You have the adjuster collar on here. All looks like nice anodized black aluminum. And then one of the things I noticed right away is that the external reservoir here, the remote reservoir, is actually on swivels, which is nice. They have these swivel fittings on here, so you're able to spin them or mount them wherever you would like, and you don't have a fixed line holding you back, which is kind of annoying sometimes. So it swivels on the body and on the reservoir itself here. So that's a nice feature. You don't see that a lot. That's actually usually a pretty expensive upgrades when you're talking about Fox or King coilovers or something like that. And then they got the braided stainless line here for the reservoir, pretty standard. Looks like they're using a steel body, zinc plated. And remember, this is a 2.5 inch piston. So that's obviously what you'd want for a heavier vehicle like you know, a modern pickup truck, a modern half ton or something like that. Definitely want to be at least 2.5. They have a little integrated rubber bump stop, which is nice. Most coilovers are going to have some sort of a internal bump stop there. You can see the little rubber piece here. And like I said, I mean, you know, stuff like this is kind of hard to judge. You know, from the outside, it's a nice looking coilover. You know, they've done everything right in terms of anodized aluminum, powder coated springs, everything like that. But what it really is going to matter is how it actually performs. You know, these are supposed to be valves specifically for each application. So there's an engineer who does the valving setup for, in particular, this will be for GM 1500 truck. And then they have someone who valves them specifically for F-150 or whatever the application is. So that's really key. Another nice thing, standard on the Vertex coilovers, is their compression adjustment. So you have on the fly 8-stage adjustment, which is nice. You know, when you're talking Fox coilovers, you actually have to pay, it's usually about $300 more to have the compression adjusting. So this is actually controlling or adjusting the dampening rate of the coilover. We're not talking about spring adjustment or ride height adjustment. This is just for dampening. So that's a nice option. It'll be cool to see how well that works, how much of a difference it actually makes. But it's a cool standard option. And then I guess we will move, let's see, this is just gonna be, oh, they give you a little, looks like a mounting bracket here for the reservoir. So I'm assuming this will mount on the top plate. So where the top hat of the coilover mounts, they give you this little plate so you can actually mount the reservoir to there, which is nice. They actually thought about where the coilover would mount to. So yeah, first impressions is, you know, it looks like a nice piece out of the box, but really time will tell. See how it actually performs. And then this is going to be the rear shock, one of the rear shocks. This is going to be 2.5 as well, I believe. 2.5 inch piston on there to give it a nice dampening advantage over, you know, a 2.0. And then same way it's packaged up pretty nice here. The first thing I noticed is they use a string, a nylon string, some weird fancy little string here to keep the shock compressed, which I've never seen that before. Not saying it's a bad thing or a good thing, just something I've never seen. Usually they use a piece of metal or just a nylon strap. But yeah, I like how they actually mount the reservoir to the body, which is cool. They clamp it on the body. Just gives it a little neater, tidier look kind of deal, rather than up there, well, you actually mount it off of the truck, where these mount off the body. And it looks like obviously the clamps, you can undo them so you can move them wherever you want, but they kind of give you this nice tidy package right out of the box. And then same deal here, they got a little rubber bump stop on the shaft already, which is nice, so you're not going without a bump stop. These are the 2.5 inch, so nice big shock, gives you a lot of dampening for the rear of your truck here. Same thing here, it looks like they're using a steel body, zinc plated, which is kind of different. You don't see that too much comparing it to Fox or King on their smooth body stuff like this, non-coilover stuff I should say, at least. It's usually aluminum. They usually use steel body on coilovers because you have threaded adjustment. They don't want the threads pulling off an aluminum body, so that's why they go with steel. But it looks like for these shocks they went with the steel body, which is kind of different. Not sure if that's good or bad, but these do have a lot of weight to them, being that they are steel body shock, but pretty much same features as the coilover. Oh, it looks like these aren't swivel, the fittings aren't swivel here, nor are they here, but I'm assuming that's just because this is kind of supposed to stay where it's mounted here. I'm sure in different applications they do have swivel mounts and everything, so you can move the reservoir and put it wherever you want. You got your laser engraved RC logo. I mean, first impressions is, you know, you got a nice large, probably 7/8 piston rod here as well. So out of the box, it looks like a quality piece. A little weird that they use a steel body, but might not technically be a bad thing. Won't dissipate heat as well as aluminum, but does that really make a difference? Probably no one will really notice that. But really, like I said, really got to see how it performs. So we're gonna actually be putting these on a truck in the future here. Actually, one of the guys that works here is gonna be getting this kit on his truck. But all in all, it looks like a solid constructed piece, definitely well thought out. I like how they kind of package things and make it all neat and tidy, which is nice. And same with how they kind of package the reservoirs onto these shocks, keep it all neat. So really, the test is, how does it perform? And we'll get to that soon. I just noticed this. I didn't mention this, but I just noticed it because I had it upside down. It's nice. The rears actually as well have a compression adjuster, which is a nice feature. Usually you only see it on the front coilovers, but being on the rear shocks, they have the compression adjusters. That's kind of cool, something you don't see with a lot of the other brands. So I almost forgot that, but I didn't see it until I had it laid down here. That's gonna be, I think, this whole video. I'm not really sure. They kind of just told me to come out here and unbox this, so not really sure what's going on.